Hi, Soviet. I'm glad. Sorry it took so long to get something going. I've been super busy, so I'm going to get the stream rolling. And then I got to go ahead and get back to work for a little while. But with any luck, I'll get into the chat a little later. Hopefully, we'll see Sue here. I ain't seen Sue in a couple of days. Bear with me a minute while I get the camera worked out here. Oh, was she in the last stream? I'm sorry, I didn't see her. Hey, Hijinks, how are you? You're gonna leave already, Hijinks? Well, thanks for stopping. Give us a thumbs up before you take off. All right, there we go. I think we got it. I don't see any bouncing right now, so with any luck, this camera will stay smooth. I just started the stream, so if we give it just a little while, it'll get some people in here, and there will be some people to chat with and everything. Hey guys, I appreciate you stopping in. You're looking at timber rattlesnakes. They're scientifically known as Crotalus horridus. If I can get you to, please double tap the center of your screen, give us a thumbs up. Let's try to get this out there to a wider audience, try to get more people into our streams. We'd really appreciate your help with that by giving us a like. Yeah, it looks like we got a little bit of bouncing happening with the camera again today. I don't know why this camera is doing that. I have no freaking idea. Let's see if I can. Yep, nothing I do seems to stop it. Not exactly sure why. I'm sorry, guys. Like, it's not too bad today. How's your snake doing, Hijinks, if you haven't left yet? I'm interested to know how your new baby snake's doing for you. Hey, everybody, thanks for stopping in. Can y'all give me a thumbs up, please? Just double tap center of your screen there. Give us a thumbs up. That'll help get us out there to a wider audience. We'll get a lot more people in the stream. And maybe we can get into a little bit of conversation about these snakes, these timber rattlesnakes. Maybe get a little bit of education and tons of entertainment. Hey, we've got 9 people checking out the stream right now with only 1 like. Can a couple more of y'all please give us a thumbs up? We're not a monetized channel. We do not accept donations. We don't ask for money in any way. We just ask that you double tap your screen and give us a thumbs up to help us spread it out to a wider audience. Most live streams that you watch, they're begging for money, asking for money, giving you some sort of sob story. You know, that's not us. We just want your likes. Please give us your likes. Give us a thumbs up. Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by. These are timber rattlesnakes. They are scientifically known as Crotalus horridus. Can y'all double tap the center of your screen, give us some thumbs up here? It'll help spread this video to a wider audience. We are not a monetized channel. We don't accept donations. We don't ask for money in any way. We simply ask y'all for your likes to help us get it to a wider audience so we can help educate the public about timber rattlesnakes and their importance and how we can help preserve this endangered species. They are found throughout the eastern United States. They are found all the way from New England as far south as northern Florida. They are found as far west as Minnesota and the northeastern portions of Texas. The timber rattlesnakes have been put on the endangered species candidate list due to declines in populations, mainly because of deforestation, and one of the other big causes is human fear. You know, people are afraid of them. They see them in their yard and kill them. A little bit of information about it. If you see one in your yard and you kill it and it's a female, that can disrupt a colony for decades. These timber rattlesnakes are very, very slow to reproduce. They don't reach sexual maturity till between 8 and 11 years old, and then they only have babies every 3 to 5 years. So that means that one female timber rattlesnake may only give birth 2 to 3 times her entire life. So by killing one of them, it could take decades upon decades to recover in that colony or that den, you know, or family of them, if they ever recover at all. These timber rattlesnake babies that you were looking at, they was born a couple different ways. Some of them came from an 11-year-old female that I had rescued years back that had an injury that could not be released into the wild at that time. She finally decided to breed last year, and she bred last year. She gave birth to her young this year. And then 5 of these babies also that are in this enclosure had came from a female that got hit on the road. We witnessed her get hit by a vehicle on the road, so we stopped to check her out, realized she was pregnant, or gravid in the reptile world. And we did an emergency C-section. We harvested 8 embryos. 2 of them were damaged from the accident. 6 of them were viable. We artificially incubated them to try to bring them to term. 5 of the 6 we was successful at bringing to term, and they were born healthy and happy. We do have one in here. We call her Islis, as you've seen by the title. We spell it I-S-L-I-S, but she has that name because she has no eyeball, and in fact, right there she is. Right there. She has no eyeball on the left side of her face, if you notice. That can come typically in reptiles from things like incubation temperature fluctuations, incubation errors, you know, just problems during incubation. And there's no doubt in my mind, since rattlesnakes give live birth, us harvesting those embryos from the one that got hit on the road, I'm sure there was some error in the artificial incubation. However, she is very happy, healthy, and doing very, very well. A lot of people in the reptile conservation, you know, whether they're into hobby or into conservation or whatever reason they are into reptiles, a lot of the times they will euthanize any babies that are born with defects. Here at the Virtual Reptarium, we do not euthanize unless 100% absolutely necessary. If it is not possible for that snake to recover, or if that snake is in pain or something like that, is the absolute only way we would euthanize. So we will grow Islis up into a strong, healthy adult, and we will handle her very frequently between now and the time she's an adult. Get her very used to humans in human interaction. Let her know that we are not a threat to her, and she will be used as an ambassador when people come to take tours of the facility. And we will be able to tube her, you know, and let people touch her, you know, scales, check out her rattle up close, all those types of things. So we intend to keep her in a cage. All these other babies, some of them will go outdoors into the 1-acre habitat and den site that I have on my property. And the remainder will be released into the wild at some known den sites that I'm familiar with in the northeastern United States. When we do that release, next spring, I will live stream that release, to show that we are letting them go at a den site to try to help boost the populations. We will not give an exact location out of fear of people, destroying their habitat or, going there and illegally poaching and things like that. But we will take you along with us for the journey. We've got 32 people watching, only 3 likes. Can I please get some of y'all to hit the thumbs up? Without y'all hitting the thumbs up, our stream just fizzles out to nothing, and we're end up being down to 1 or 2 people watching. But by y'all simply hitting that like button, it boosts the algorithm. It gets it spread out to a wider audience. It keeps people watching much, much longer. Again, we are not a monetized channel. We do not take any money. We do not ask for donations. We do not ask for super chats. We don't accept donations right now. All we accept is likes, and we would really, really appreciate if you could give us some thumbs up. You would be helping, in all kinds of ways. You'd be helping us get this stream out there. In turn, that helps with conservation. These snakes are very, very important to our ecosystems. They help keep the small rodents in check, which also in turn helps keep ticks in check. And with that helps protect us humans by protecting us from Lyme's disease. So, and there are many other ways. That's just one example. So it really, really helps us out tremendously when you hit that like button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it pays off, in folds for us. So again, please double tap the center of your screen. Give us a thumbs up. If that doesn't work for you, in the upper right corner, you should see 3 little dots. If you click on them, a menu will drop down and the thumbs up will be in there. Or you can click on the little thumbs up at the top of your screen where it shows the number of people in here watching and the number of thumbs up. If you click that, you can also like it that way. But the easiest way that doesn't take you any extra time, doesn't, do anything, to disrupt what you're doing is for you to just double tap the center of that screen. We get a handful of people in here watching all the time. We just have a really hard time getting y'all to hit the thumbs up. I don't really understand why you don't hit the thumbs up, even if you don't plan on staying. Again, you hitting the thumbs up helps those later. We got several youngsters in here that are still, just now in high school and stuff, and they're very interested in reptiles, and they plan on pursuing the animal business, later on in life, so it would help all of them as well. It helps everybody by you just giving us a like. Hi, Judith Oakley. I appreciate you stopping in. If you haven't already, double tap that screen, give us a thumbs up, please. It really means a lot to us when y'all stop by to check out our stream. We try to, keep it as educational and entertainment as we can for you. It appears that people do enjoy coming in and checking out our streams. While you all are in here, though, please give us that thumbs up. The thumbs up are the only thing that can help us out here. You just double tap center your screen and give a thumbs up. I mean, I scroll through some of the live streams on here, and I mean, I see people sitting on their couch staring at their phone, reading one comment every couple of minutes, and they've got hundreds of views and hundreds of likes, but I got to beg for some likes, on this stream for some reason. I don't really understand it, but it would definitely help us out tremendously if you'd hit that like button. Hi, how are you doing, Judith? Please double tap your screen and give us a thumbs up. We've got 46 people in here, only 4 likes. Can some of y'all please give us a thumbs up? That's the absolute only way that we can keep these streams going. We put a lot of time, effort, and energy into making these live streams and trying to bring y'all some education and some entertainment. Can y'all please show us the same respect back and give us a split second of your time for you to double tap that screen? We don't ask for money in any way. Most of these live streams are trying to beg money out of y'all when you're on there checking them out. We don't ask for money. We don't ask for any of that. We simply want you to double tap your screen and give us a thumbs up to help us get this to a wider audience. If you don't want to hit the thumbs up, go ahead and leave the stream. You're not useful to us if you can't like the stream for us. It don't take you any time. It don't cost you any money. It does nothing to negatively affect you at all to like our streams. So either hit the like button or leave. I'm not a monetized channel. I don't have to kiss people's ass. I have been nice. I have asked respectfully. I've tried to explain to you that there are youngsters in here that really like this thing and everything. All right, Kevin, that's fine. See you later, dude. If you don't want to hit the like button, take off, bro. I don't give a shit, man. I know you, you know, like, we're cool. But, bro, if you can't hit the like button for me, fuck it. See, and then you got fucking people like that, you know. I know that dude that just said okay goodbye. You know, you got people like that. He'll take more time to write okay goodbye than to just double tap the center of the fucking screen, you know, to help out the people who do care about the stream and the people who do want to watch it. You know, he may have been joking around because he knows who I am and stuff. You know, I don't know if he was, but regardless, you know, it's very simple. Very simple. Again, I put my time, effort, energy, and I risk myself a little bit by, you know, I could be bit by these venomous snakes anytime. I don't, it is what it is. I'm not going to be because I use my tools and I pay attention. However, you know, there are risks with this, but I do the risks for conservation reasons and educational reasons and also y'all's entertainment. I saw some of y'all hit the heart on there. I appreciate that, you know, sending love. That definitely means a lot to us here. But for it to help boost it to a bigger audience, it definitely has to be a thumbs up. That's the only thing that works. So you've got to double tap the center of that screen to give us a thumbs up. Now, if you were on a TV or a PC, you are going to have to just find the like, you know, the thumbs up and click on it. But on a phone or a tablet, you just double tap the center of that screen. And actually, now that user Kevin Buck decided to be a cocky little bitch like that, I'm going to go ahead and hide him on this channel so he'll no longer be able to comment or anything. Actually, you know what? I may even just block him, but I'm just going to hide him as a user since he just wanted to be so disrespectful. You know, I know the guy. I like him. I think he's a good person, but I don't know why he's acting like that on here, you know, unless he just, you know, was joking, but he should have, you know, said something back that he was joking around or something like that. So for that, I'm going to put him on timeout for right now. You know, if he decides to comment, you know, later and tell me he was joking around and, you know, whatever, cool. Like I said, I know the guy. He's from my hometown. You know, he's not a bad person. I like him and always did get along with him. So to act like that, you know, because he thought it would be funny or whatever to all the other people, you know, I'm not down with that. Hey, Judith, you have said hi 3 times. I have said hi back to you. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. But yeah, hi, how are you doing? I appreciate you stopping in to check out the snakes. I hope that you have hit the thumbs up for us, or you've double tapped center of your screen to give us a like. You're looking at timber rattlesnakes. Their scientific name is Crotalus horridus. They are found throughout the eastern United States. They are found all the way from New England to the northern portions of Florida. They are found as far west as Minnesota and the northeastern portions of Texas. They are a very, very docile species of rattlesnake. The timber rattlesnake is very reluctant to bite. There are as few as 4 to 5 timber rattlesnake bites per year in the United States. And every one of those bites occur from either accidentally stepping on one or by reaching down and trying to pick one up. They are very rare to almost non-existent being bit for any other reasons than that. I could stand directly in the middle of this enclosure with all of them rattlesnakes right there, and there is probably a 9.5% or 9.5 out of 10 chance that, you know, I wouldn't even get bit. They are probably, in my opinion and in my experience, the absolute most docile species of rattlesnake on the planet. And another fun fact is rattlesnakes are only found in the Americas. They are not found anywhere else in the world. The largest rattlesnake species on the planet is the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. That is followed by the Mexican West Coast rattlesnake. And again, this is my opinion. I don't know that it's scientifically proven, but my opinion and my experience is I know for sure the eastern diamondback is the largest rattlesnake on the planet, but the second largest, I believe, is the Mexican West Coast rattlesnake, followed by yours truly, the timber rattlesnake. These timber rattlesnakes are the northeastern variety. In the northeast, they will be either black phase when they are older, meaning they will be mostly black, and then the others will be yellow phase, and they will be a green to yellow color when they are older and as adults. These snakes you are looking at now are just 3 weeks old. Every time they shed their skin, they will get darker in color for the blacks, and the yellows will get more green to yellow on them. The camera does not do very great justice to the coloration of these snakes. When a rattlesnake is born, they are born live. They will stay with the mother or in close proximity to the mother for the first week to 10 days, roughly, maybe 2 weeks. They will shed their skin, and then they will go out hunting, you know, looking for their own meals, and that's when they will go on their own. Now, they will pick up on the scent trails or the pheromone trails of the adults to be able to find their way to the den site. The male timber rattlesnake will travel as far as 5 miles from his overwintering den site, and the females, and I'm sorry, the males, the adult males, and the smaller or ungravid females will travel that distance. A gravid female and most large females will only go, you know, between a half a mile and 1 mile from their overwintering den site, and they usually end up going to an area that we know as a gestation area or a birthing rookery. And usually those areas are a rocky outcropping or an area with lots of rock with direct sun but shade very nearby, so they can regulate their temperature, and they try to keep their body temperature as close to 88 degrees as possible for the entire summer to gestate and allow those babies to incubate inside. Those babies are inside of eggs inside the mother. They are not attached by an umbilical cord to the mother. They are essentially the same way a chicken works, or a chicken egg. They are inside the egg. They have a yolk, and just before hatching, they absorb all that yolk, and that's what sustains them for the first couple of weeks of their life until they start eating on their own. And after they have that first shed and they venture out, start eating on their own, at that point, the mother will no longer stay around. The mother will go do her own thing. She will usually start eating 1 to 2 weeks after she has babies. And another fun fact is when the mother gets gravid, example, if we had a female rattlesnake breed this year, she will store that sperm until next year. Next year, she will gestate and give birth between late August and mid-September. And she will usually give birth to between 5 and 20 young, with an average of 6 or 8. And then she will not give birth again for another 3 to 5 years. Timber rattlesnakes have been listed as a species of concern in many areas due to deforestation, and human intervention. Humans being afraid of these snakes and, killing these snakes because they see them in the yard or something like that. Killing just one, if it happens to be a female that got killed, because somebody was scared of her, that can disrupt a population of these things for decades. Because of them taking so long. They don't reach sexual maturity until 8 to 11 years old, and then they only reproduce every 3 to 5 years, which means one female may only give birth 2 to 3 times in her entire lifetime, which, so if she gets killed, that disrupts, 10 years for the next female to grow up old enough, 10 to 11 years, and then another 3 to 5 years to have a litter. And, just hope that everything goes well. And then when they do have a litter, like I say, they average 6 or 8. Out of that 6 or 8, let's just say 8 of them. If she has 8 of them against, all the odds out there, only about half of them or less may survive. They have all kinds of predators, a lot of people might think, a rattlesnake like this is, probably on the top of the chain when it comes to the reptiles out there. But that's the furthest from the truth. Rattlesnakes are food for a lot of other animals and stuff out there in the wild. Not rat snakes, but black racer snakes, king snakes, the eastern kings. There are many different snakes that eat rattlesnakes. There are other animals, like owls, other predatory birds. There are lots of things that eat them, and then getting hit on the roadways, or people killing them. There's lots and lots of reasons that these rattlesnakes are so difficult or so declined in population. There's just so many variables there that try to take these things out. And these rattlesnakes help keep things in check, in our ecosystems. They help keep the rats, the mice, the field mice, the squirrels, the chipmunks, and other birds and stuff. They help keep all them in check. If they didn't, we would be overrun by rodents that would be destroying a lot of our native vegetation and crops and things like that. And by these rattlesnakes keep, eating those rodents, they help keep the numbers of ticks down, and we all know that ticks carry Lyme's disease and spread Lyme's disease, which is a very serious illness. So these rattlesnakes do a whole lot more for us than some people really understand or would believe. Also, venomous snake venom is used for many, many things. It is used for things like blood pressure medications, seizure medications. There's cancer research with it. There's pain medications. There is all different, positive reasons for us to coexist with these creatures without seeing them as the villain, without killing them. There's lots and lots of reasons to keep them around and to protect these animals. And as I say with this live stream, I ask y'all all to double tap center your screen and give us a thumbs up. And I ask that, for more than one reason. I ask it first and foremost for conservation. I have lots of people that come in here now that, said, "Oh, I don't like snakes," or "I'm scared of snakes." But now they are in every one of my live streams checking out the snakes because of simply seeing a thumbnail and clicking on it one time, or, or it came up in their feed as they were scrolling through. And now, it sort of helps bridge the gap between those who are afraid or hate snakes, you know, to help them understand that you can coexist with these creatures without having to be scared, knowing that these snakes are not going to chase you down or hunt you down to bite you. You give them the respect that they deserve, and they're going to just leave you alone. These snakes want nothing to do with you. You got to think about it. I'm sure we've all had a friend, or even yourselves, where you saw a snake, and or your friend saw a snake and told you, like, man, there was a fucking huge snake out there, and you go out there and see it, and it turns out to be a little 12-inch long garter snake. Well, to that person that was scared, it was a huge snake in their mind. It wasn't that they were trying to lie. They were scared, and it looked like a huge snake to them, and it really made them nervous or whatever, or surprised them. Well, and then you got to think about these rattlesnakes. When there's a huge person, like, a human being is so much larger than the rattlesnake. So when the rattlesnake sees us, it's like, oh my God, that's a huge threat. Everything's a threat to them. No snakes are aggressive, but they are defensive. If they feel cornered or threatened in any way, at that time, they're gonna defend themselves. But as long as you give them their space and you don't try to pick them up or accidentally step on them, you have absolutely nothing to worry about with a venomous snake, especially these timber rattlesnakes. Hey guys, there's 8 people still in here checking us out. We've got 4 likes. Can I get the other 4 of y'all to please hit that thumbs up? We really got to get more people in here. It really helps spread this to a wider audience. I want to keep these things going for, as many people as we can get in here. Hey, Animal Expert, how are you doing? I appreciate you stopping in. Can you double tap the center of your screen and give us a thumbs up? I see people hitting the hearts, and I appreciate you sending the love, but you really got to double tap the center of your screen to give us a thumbs up. That's the only way that it will boost the algorithm. So just give a double tap in the very center of your screen, and that will give us a thumbs up. That's how you do it on these live streams. Another way you can do it, if double tap in the center of your screen isn't working for you, another way you can do it is the 3 dots in the upper right corner of your screen there. If you're on a mobile device or a tablet, you can click on them 3 dots. A menu will drop down, and the thumbs up will be in that menu. You can click on it there. But it's usually the most easy way to do it is to just double tap the center of that screen. No, nobody's going to do it for me. Well, thanks anyway, I guess. Anytime I go into a live stream, I hit the damn like for the person, because, like I said, even if I don't personally like the stream, I know there's lots of people that will like it. And I know the person that's putting on that live stream, is usually putting in a little bit of effort, and stuff to try to make it happen. So I always give them, a thumbs up and stuff. I really appreciate all the hearts, everybody. If you can, hit the thumbs up or double tap the center of your screen. The likes is what really does it for us. We're not a monetized channel. We do not accept donations. We don't ask for money in any kind of way. I know a lot of live streams are always asking for money. We're not about that. Everything we do here is 100% funded out of my own pocket. So I don't ask for money, and I don't plan to ask for money. I simply ask for your likes. As I say, these are a timber rattlesnake. Their scientific name is Crotalus horridus. They're found throughout the eastern United States. At one time in the southeastern United States, they was considered a canebrake rattlesnake. The scientific name for the canebrake at one time was Crotalus horridus horridus. In the Northeast, they have always been just Crotalus horridus, which is the timber rattlesnake as we know it. The specimens that you're looking at here are native to the northeastern United States. The one at the very bottom of your screen there, not the one that you see the head of, but the one you see the body of, that would be a black phase. And the one laying on top of it that you do see the head of, that would be a yellow phase. These are only 3-week-old specimens, so every time they shed their skin, their colors for the yellows will brighten up and turn more green and yellow, and then the black phase will turn more black until they're almost all black. Now, in the southeastern United States, they always remain about the color of the one that's moving around, laying right on top, right in front of you right now. And the pattern, they say that they have grouped them all together, the canebrake and the timber. They've grouped them all together into one big group, and they call them all the timber rattlesnake nowadays. However, I personally still believe there are still some differences. If you look at the pattern on a baby canebrake rattlesnake versus a baby timber rattlesnake, you can see some differences in pattern. It appears to me that the timbers in the southeast regularly grow larger than the timbers in the northeast, and now there are reasons for that, such as in the northeast these guys brumate 5 to 7 months out of the year, so they are not eaten during that time, so there is a whole lot less food for them in the northeast than there is the southeast. But the snake overall just has too many differences for me to agree that they are the same snake. But I can't argue with science and, possibly DNA. That's just my opinions, and my thoughts on it. I appreciate everybody in here checking out the stream. Can you all give me a thumbs up, please? Double tap center screen, give us a thumbs up. We need to get as many likes as we can so we can get more people into this stream here. That way we can continue to educate people. We have already changed several people's minds. We have people that come in here that used to be afraid of snakes or didn't like snakes, thought the only good snake was a dead snake, and it has changed their mind. It has definitely helped us bridge the gap by putting on these live streams. And by y'all hitting the like button, it brings more people in, and it gives us a better chance of, getting more people to, change their mind. Thank y'all, everybody that has hit the like button. We've got 10 people in here. We got 7 likes. Can the other 3 of y'all please give us a thumbs up? It really helps us out with the thumbs up. It's the only thing that helps us out. You're looking at timber rattlesnakes, Crotalus horridus. They're a venomous pit viper, one of the largest venomous pit vipers found in North America. The eastern diamondback rattlesnake is the only venomous pit viper in North America, or in the United States rather, to beat the timber rattlesnake as far as size goes. The timber rattlesnakes usually grow between 3 and 5 feet long. Some individuals have grown as much as 72 inches. The timber rattlesnake is a very, very slow snake at reproducing. They don't reach sexual maturity for the females until between 8 and 11 years old. And then they only reproduce every 3 to 5 years. And they may live, 15 to 20 years. Some individuals have lived as much as 30 years. So that means for a female, they may only reproduce, 2, maybe 3 times their entire lifetime. That's why, it's very, very important to not kill these snakes, when you see them. Just give them some space, and walk away. The snakes will not chase you. There is no snake in North America that will chase you or will charge after you to attack you. It just will not happen in North America. There are some snakes, elsewhere in the world, such as maybe the black mamba, that, might come after you and stuff, but not typically just because you walk by. The snake typically has to feel provoked in one way or the other. But here in North America, there is no snake ever going to come after you to attack you. Snakes are not aggressive. They are defensive. These timber rattlesnakes typically, will coil up real tight and rattle their tail to warn you, to say, hey, I'm here, leave me alone, give me my space. And that's all they want. These snakes, their venom is very, very precious to them. The snake knows that you're not food. They know they're not going to eat you. You're entirely too large. So they do not want to waste that venom, on you. It's a very precious resource to them. It takes lots of energy, for them to reproduce that venom, and it takes time. The venom is for 2 different reasons. It's not just to subdue their prey. It is also to help them digest their prey. Whenever they bite let's just say a rat, for example, when they bite the rat, yes, it kills the rat for them to be able to swallow the rat, but it also starts to digest that rat from the inside out. These snakes are a cold-blooded creature, so they've got to have heat to digest the prey, and if it gets down there to 70 degrees or something, it gets harder for them to digest. But with the aid of that venom, it helps them in that process. Hey guys, thank you for joining our stream. I really appreciate that. While you're here, can you please give us a thumbs up? We got to get up a handful more of likes. This thing can get spread to a little wider of an audience. That way we can talk a little bit more about these snakes, these timber rattlesnakes. And we can help try to bridge that gap between those who are afraid of snakes or don't really like snakes, and try to help the conservation efforts of this species before we lose this species of rattlesnake. These rattlesnakes, again, are timber rattlesnakes. They are scientifically known as Crotalus horridus. They are a venomous pit viper found in the United States. Hey everyone, can y'all please give us a thumbs up while you're in here? Even if you don't plan on staying, your likes will help boost this to a wider audience. We'll get more people in here, help be able to, maybe give them a little bit of education and some entertainment. A lot of people might find interest in these streams, so by you giving us a like, it won't only help give interest in the stream and spread it to a wider audience, but it helps us with our conservation efforts. It gives people a whole lot more knowledge on these reptiles, and start getting some of those who are afraid or don't really like snakes, to come around a little bit. Hi, how's everybody doing? Thanks for stopping by. If y'all will, while you're in here, please double tap center of your screen. Give us a thumbs up, please. You're looking at timber rattlesnakes, scientifically known as Crotalus horridus. Yeah. Hey, thank you everybody for stopping in. You're looking at timber rattlesnakes. They're scientifically known as Crotalus horridus. They are a venomous pit viper found throughout the eastern United States. They are found from New England to northern Florida, all the way out to Minnesota and northeastern Texas. They are a very docile species of rattlesnake, probably the most docile species of rattlesnake, very reluctant to bite. They will strike or bite if they feel cornered, threatened, or accidentally stepped on, or you try to mess with them. But if you don't try to mess with them at all, they will not mess with you at all. Can you please give me some thumbs up? Double tap center your screen to like the stream. That will help bring it to a wider audience and get more people in here, and it also helps bring people into future streams. We don't ask for money in any way. We simply ask for your likes. I'd really appreciate if you could give us some thumbs up.